So good morning. Ooh. So today's theme has an intention in it, which I don't always do. My little shake out to start. I'm sorry, I know my head gets chopped off. So I moved back. Obviously completely well prepared. Am I just in it? Yeah, just about. As long as you can see my butt, all is good, yeah? So please set up your space beautifully as I'm doing, and then come to the top of your mat. Just stand with your feet just a little less than hip width apart, beautifully tall, and breathe. So today I'd like you to start off just with focusing on a quiet moment of breath. And so my intention for my movement session this morning was to bring love into myself and to send that love out to the world. And it's just something I realized recently, based on a book I started to read this morning. If you read the blog, it kind of explains it. So that's what I was doing as I was standing here, is just focusing on that and trying to keep that through the rest of the practice. Taking a deep breath in, the arms go up, again bringing in the universal energy and love, and then bringing it down through the center. And just a few there to start to bring more lift energy into the body, ready to start to move through. And a big softening through the breastbone, the sternum, is a really nice space because obviously your heart is just below there. Letting the breath soften as you breathe out, and then starting to take it into a roll down. So as your arms come down, bend the knees, drop the head, and just fold forward. Hanging out there, shake it out if that feels good for you. I'm just going to take it through a little flow to begin with. Just letting some wrinkles come out because this is my first time to move from getting up this morning. Stepping one leg back and then the other, coming into down dog. And feel free to wiggle, shake, move, bend one knee, lift, lower the heels, whatever is right for you right now in your first down dog. Shifting into plank, long body line, and then popping down onto, and I shifted sideways. Again, I'm a free flow. So what did your body need? Please take that. Down onto the knees, sitting back, getting rid of the mud on the mat. Little child's pose, rounding forward to come into a half plank, basically. Now, I do not have that much strength in my triceps yet. I'm working on it, so I find if I go on my knees, I get a better form and better focus. So taking a few push-ups there just to wake up the back of my body, focus into core, shoulders, and do my best to keep my head in line and not do a chicken head, basically. And then from there, coming all the way down, stretching out through the feet, and just a small baby swan, lifting through the chest. Again, the elbows kind of push back, and I wanted to make sure my back body was awake, so I would take my hands off. Again, long body line. Pubic bone maybe pushing a little bit into the mat if you felt your lower back a bit grumpy so far, or that wiggle of the hips is also useful. Coming up a little bit higher, making sure the neck is long, pushing back into down dog. Ooh, and then this is my own personal move of taking socks off. So if you have socks on, it was chilly, then you can do the foot flick to get rid of them. And that's exactly what I was doing there, which was quite good because it got me moving around. So wear socks, try it next time. Ooh, showing the belly off, bringing one leg forward, and then, love a little lunge, yeah? Other one into your fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to, please. It's really about tuning into your body. Bending, straightening, again, having a wiggle, lifting the chest. I keep my fingers down but lift kind of my palm up because I have some tightness in especially my right hand. So that's a means for me to try to get some stretch and movement through the fingers. Deep breath in, bend the knees to lift. And then exhale, bringing your hands down. Bending the knees if it feels right for you right now. Bending the knees to come down into another fold. Okay, hang out a little bit more into a stretch there. Then folding through, hanging down, letting the head be heavy and releasing. What is it you need to release? Just let go in your fold. Little halfway lift. Again, that's my finger stretch. before I bend my knees, fold on down, and this time stepping my right leg back because I started on my left. Left leg went back to join it. Down dog, moving through into your plank. Strong breath. So this could be your exhale or an inhale. Exhale I find helps me to lower when I go slower like this, because then my inhale brings me up into my up dog, rolling and opening the chest. Remember that feeling of heart opening. Pushing back into down dog, heels sinking down, tail going up, find length. Wiggle if that feels the right thing for you. Stepping away, here we go, forward into the lunge. Use your hands to help your leg if need be there. And then the left leg comes in, back into my fold, dropping the head again, thinking what I might need to release today, what emotions are not serving me right now, that I might need to let go of so I can bring myself into more of a space of love. Breathe in, let it go up. Breathe out, taking it down. So I'm going to work the fold a little bit more this time. So, shake it out, bring some energy up from the earth into your legs, into your hips. Let your head go. It's really important to let the head dangle here. And then on the next one coming up, I'm going to put my hands around my pelvic or on my back to begin, because then I can feel what my lower back is doing. Space for me that holds too much flexion. So that just gave me the ability to feel. And then around the hips, so it's the pelvis that does the movement here. So by bending my knees, it kind of took the stretch out of the back of my legs, which meant that I could really focus on what my hips were doing over the top of my legs. So you're really trying to get that feeling of creasing. My hands now go at the top of my legs, which means I can push my thigh bone back and see if I can encourage my pelvis to tip over a little bit more. Hands sliding down to the knees and then lower into the shins, but trying to keep that feeling of the pelvis folding, not letting the spine round. And then you get this beautiful flat back with the tail going up, the butt bones opening before you can take a deeper fold. And if you've tried that, you may find you get a deeper fold right now. Again, I'm keeping my knees bent, otherwise I sometimes feel like I overstretch my hamstrings and I don't get into my calves, which are my bad point. Oh, I jumped. I'm sorry. Bad cue from me there. I jumped myself back. A moment down to find the length into the down dog, and then coming through forward to plank. Knees down, obviously, please option. Bending the elbows. Luckily, I don't have to push back up to breathe in, to roll, open the chest. Spread through the heart area before you push back again. Knees option, or flip through your toes to go back into down dog. Bending and straightening the knees a wee bit here, getting ready to do the spring forward. So I am going to jump back in again. And it's an inhale that brings you forward because it gives you some lift. So the core still needs to go on as you go. 3, 2, 1, go on, Lisa, go for it. Ready? Boing! And in. Not my best move. I'm still working on that one. So coming up, breathing in, and taking a little bit of a balance coming up next. So I started by balancing on my right leg. Bringing my left foot up, holding onto it. It's not dancers, it's more of a quad stretch. So both hands held my feet. I pushed my foot into my hand and rolled my chest and shoulders back. So again, I'm getting quad stretch and my shoulders were opening there. Holding on only in the left hand and really pushing the foot into the left hand as I twisted and tried to direct again my pelvis around my right leg. Trying not to let my right knee follow, which it wanted to. Hand on the hip helped me to go, where am I in this movement? So it also gave me a great stretch through that right groin. Coming back up, trying to find balance before letting go and going, I can do the other side. So holding both, knee moves back behind the pelvis to get that stretch. Pushing the foot into the hand, and then same thing, taking hold in the one hand, so it's the right foot, take it into the right hand for the moment for this pose. And as you push the foot into the hand, bend the left knee, again helpful for me, keep the left knee pointing straight forward as you try to turn your pelvis around the left leg. Now, seeing myself, I don't go so far on this side, so I know I've got some tightness and asymmetry going on. Gently bring it back. The out is as important as the return, or as the down, and then, made it safely. Backing back down, and again, lift, find that pelvis tipping over into your jump back into plank, ching, and down dog. Now, From your down dog, three-legged dog, left leg came up, opened out, stretched it straight, and then up and down through the heel. Now, what I was trying to do here is coordinate my body. So as my heel went down, I flexed my top foot. As my heel came up, I pointed. So both legs were doing the same thing through the ankle and continually reaching that back leg back. Ooh, here we go, balance. Are you ready for this? Ta-da! So if you're on your right leg, the left hand stays on the floor and the right arm reached over. This is one I really struggled with for quite a while, to be honest. I'm quite proud of myself to be able to do this. Right leg came up, reached back, attempting not to turn the hips too much yet. And again, up and down on the left heel as the right foot points and flexes. Gives movement, more movement wherever. That's often my goal, is to think, what else can I add into this movement right now? Sometimes it's nice to hold, and that's great too. Here's the balance, not my best side. So I had to really be like, okay, Lise, you can do this. Take it off. And I can feel myself less stable on that left leg and my right hand. Just something to notice and to work with. Foot comes down and we changed again. So let that left leg come up and open this time to the side. So this is the same sort of feeling that you had when you were holding your foot, that big opening through the standing leg. Again, trying not to let the support leg, in this case my right one, do the turn. Really glad my t-shirt didn't come any higher than it did. Just saying. And then the other one comes up, opening out. So you can see how I'm trying to turn my pelvis but not my chest around that supporting left leg. I love this. If your arms are getting tired, please take a break, come on down, shake out your wrists. We'll come off of it in a minute, I promise. So after you've done that huge opening, gracefully bring your leg down back into down dog, shifting forward into your plank, bending the elbows, knees down, option. And I'm doing that quite well today. Inhale, lift up, roll back, open chest. Remember, the intention still is love. So open out through the heart. From here, we're going to step the right leg forward and work into a triangle. So the left foot turned down, the right foot pointed, long edge down the mat. Hands on hips, and this is the sexy move. So put your hands on your hips so you can feel, and the hips tilt. And because the hips tilt, the body follows, and that's what gives us this really cool stretch coming through the right groin. If I put my right hand on the top of my thigh joint there, I can really get into my body tipping over the leg. And my hand goes on my top ribs to try to stay length, because it's super easy to do a side bend in triangle, which is an option, but that's not my goal today. Once I've got that feeling of length, then hand comes down, calf, shin, ankle, floor, other one reaches up, and for me it was glorious to be able to turn towards the sun. Beautiful long line, hand to hand. If you can go lower, great. If you can't go this low, also amazingly good. Stretch that left arm going long. Now as I reach that left arm in front of me, left hip slowly turns down. Try to keep that feeling of the pelvis tipping up, and again, huge stretch coming through. Right hamstring, bend the knees if you need to, and practice keeping that left foot down. Whew. Left hand comes down, spring forward onto your right foot, and so now it's half moon reverse twist. And that move we did earlier holding the foot, I'm going to do it again here, but now I'm on opposite. So I'm holding my left foot with my right hand, the same feeling of pushback of the foot, and then there's my twist again. Look at the pelvis rotates around, and can she let go and balance? Da, da, da. Ease it back down, coming straight back into your triangle, and just see if triangle maybe felt a little bit different from doing all of that rotation around the hip. That's often my goal, is to go back into a pose and see, well, does this feel better after I've done the bits before? Hands on hips, so right foot points straight forward, left hip points kind of 90 degrees out. Hands on the pelvis to feel that, yep, there's my pelvis going. Now, sometimes the booty, the butt sticks out, so I'm there just to make sure I'm keeping them on. I tend to lean forward a bit this side, I feel. So folding, creasing over the hip there. Once I've got that crease, lengthen through the rib cage on both sides, and my hand comes down. Now my goal is for my body to be light on that supporting hand on my ankle. Before I was kind of resting on it, I didn't feel my legs were supporting me, and over time that's got better. So I do aim to be quite light on my supporting hand. Top arm is going to then, such a beautiful morning, I'm so lucky, Top arm reaches over. Then I start to turn the chest down, turn through the hips so I can find the ground. Step in through that back foot. Ba-ching. It took a moment. I don't like this pose, I have to be honest. Back foot stepped in. Hoop, bonk. And then the left hand took hold of the right foot. Oh yeah, I said hello to the plant there. I didn't realise how close I was getting to that hedge. Good job I didn't fall into it. Pushing the foot into the hand. Opening out the hip. Turning, 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 lifting. Dog at fire hydrant feel. Lengthen and whoop, grace, ease, claps. Back down, coming into triangle. Great flow, guys. So again, a lot of opening through the upper body coming through this flow today. Backing it down, going into down dog, having that little bit of a wiggle again. And breath. So take a pause and bring yourself back to your intention. If your intention wasn't love, that's fine. Please work. What was the one for you? Round back, coming into a high cat stretch, and then working through the tail to go back, heels go down. Really great to snake through the spine like this, it really is. Coming forward to your plank, bending your elbows, knees down option, and then open the chest up into up dog, swan, variation. That is where you are today. Bending that bottom knee, big side stretch. So this is a stretch, so you want to lift the top ribs up, push the top foot down, and then move the top foot back a wee bit to open the hips up more, and then let the arm go back. So again, it's a big opening through the front body. Breathe lots into the space you've created in the front, and then bringing it down, turning around, back foot turns to give me some balance. Lift up through the top ribs, let the head drop to the side, arm goes heavy over, and then gently start to open into back extension. Please don't do so much extension if your body goes, it doesn't like it. Go where your body is capable today. Remember, we're really trying to be kind to ourselves some days. Turning back round into down dog, pushing the heels down, lifting the hips up. And I took my legs as wide as my mat right now because I wanted to do a funky little twist underneath. So right hand threads under and found my left ankle. And I turned underneath. Aim keeping the bum as still as you can. And I could really pull myself through this side. It was really neat. Deep breath in and out to lift and rotate. But then I found on this side I went, oh, where's my leg? Oh my, just wasn't so free. And that's the beauty of our bodies, and we have to embrace those differences within ourselves and within each other. So just do the best you can whenever you do. Back into down dog, bending the knees, little boing, boing, boing. Step it in. Sitting down into my Hindi squat, my favourite toilet pose. My heels are up. I'm hopefully letting them drop a little bit more. But now I got kind of funky. So to help stability through the foot and through the ankles, come on up. And if you are all the way down, this is a great move to make you have to work. Lift up onto your tiptoes and then let the heels go back down. Lift up onto tiptoes and go back down. Concentration face I have going on here. Really challenging for the foot muscles, the ankle muscles, and your hips, especially if you're used to just being able to sit in this pose. This will give you a different dimension to focus on. One hand down, heels drop down, opposite arm lift and twist up there. Aim again, keep the hips as still as you can as you turn and open through the chest. And then changing sides. Deep breath in to help you open. Lift. So be light on that supporting hand to really send the chest up and the shoulders to just allow them to come down. Now, coming forward, so I keep practicing my crane pose. So knees as high into the armpits as you can. This may be where you get to, perfect. Maybe just lifting one foot up, also perfect. Maybe the other one instead, changing feet, or both of them can come up and you go, check me out, I'm getting it. And I really challenge myself now when I've got it to get my heels closer to my bum. It's a big challenge for me that I've been working on. And it's getting there. Practice, 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 practice. Now, check it out. Stay up on those tiptoes this time. Can you lift and stay up on the toes? bit of a wobble, but reach full extension through the body to gently bring it all down. Oh, look, I stayed there quite well, didn't I? Not bad. Hands behind the back. Notice which finger you lace, and then open the chest. A little bit of a hip drive forward. Bend the knees. Back bends are not my strength. Full backs, don't like them. Working on it. Folding down again, softening the knees for me, especially if you have hyperextended knees. Please be careful there. Letting the shoulders open. So again, it's another space where I had to figure out, how do I let go? How do I not force myself into this? Then easing, rolling through the spine to come back up. Interlace the fingers the other way around. I know it feels weird. Back bending again, so knees soft, hips drive forward a bit, lift up through the chest again. Open out your chest and take in beautiful air, hopefully, that you might have around you. Folding forward, and again, let go. Frustration, anger, fear, anxiety. You can really let them breathe them out here. Letting the arms come down, finding the ground, walking forward, walking backwards into a down dog. Hopefully every down dog starts to feel more open too. Bending the elbows to drop, breathe in, smell your socks as you come up. You don't have to do that, by the way. Mine don't smell, it's okay. And I should have faced this way, the sunshine was there. Hey ho. Heels pressed down, taking left leg up into three-legged dog, opening out the hips, and I'm going to come through into pigeon. So as you come through to pigeon, the left knee comes down towards the left wrist, right foot towards the right wrist, and that right leg stretches back. Now my pigeon, this is a tightness for me, so my left butt is up in my pigeon, and I let it be there right now. Right foot will flatten off, and just check that that right knee does point down towards the floor. Now, walking your hands across towards the left knee is a really different stretch through the left hip. So even if your left hip is up, if you have a block, you can block it. Or the right hip, I'm trying to encourage down to the ground to keep my hips level, basically. So my left butt, I'm not trying to sit it down. I'm trying to square my pelvis off. This side feeling is totally different. It really is. It's cool. So give it a go. Again, my fidget wiggle moment. Coming up, big quad stretch here. If you can't reach your foot, please take a towel, a loop or whatever, or a sock. Bringing that foot towards the bum. Again, turning my hand this way, so on the big toe side of my foot, giving me more shoulder opening. And then trying to turn the chest forward and open to, again, open up through the front body as well as through the hip. Now, this is the bit that balancing. I don't know how some people do this. It amazes me. But trying to hold in this balance. There was a time that I could not do this. Opening, going, yes, I made it. Super proud of any small improvement that you get. Honestly, everything that we do is done with awareness, noticing, and that it's very easy to realize or to think you're not getting anywhere, which you are. You always are, especially the more you can go breath with movement, and just keep noticing where your body's at. That's a big step forward for a lot of us. So pigeon on the other side now, right knee near the right wrist, right ankle near the left wrist, back foot flattens off, and then let yourself start to come down onto the ground, resting onto the elbows. This is my tight hip, by the way. Walk the hands across towards the front leg, softening the elbows. Another opportunity to release anything that is not serving you right now. Could be thoughts, emotions, situations. Try to just breathe them out and let them go. Coming on up, taking hold of that back foot. So left foot in my left hand, roll the left shoulder back and open. Just the hips and breathe. So the challenge is often to stay into these poses that you don't want to be in. So if any of these were where you were, please press pause and just stay there. And feel free here. I had to adjust myself to be able to balance here. And so my left hip knee is all a bit wonky right now. Opening out the chest, taking a deep breath in to inhale the goodness that is all around us. It's not all as shitty as we think. Hands come down, pushing back, and coming into toe stretching here. So you'll bend your knees, bring them down, but keep the toes bent back there, and you just bring your bum onto your heels. Excuse me, I checked the time because I wanted to make sure I kept this to around 30 minutes. So sitting. If your toes don't bend very well, it does affect balance and walking in particular. So it's a great stretch if you have tight toes. And then coming into the quad stretch, so feet wider than the hips. Again, you may need to sit on a block. Knees squeeze together, push down into the floor. And the big one here is to draw your core in and very slightly tuck your tail. So it's not just about lifting the bum up off the floor. I'm actually thinking here my butt sinking down as my chest lifts up, so I get that contrasting feeling. And that's what enables my hips to open. This in turn feeling on the legs, please, 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 if it's not good for your knees, get out of this pose straight away or sit on your heels with your feet flat. It's not worth making any injuries you might have worse or giving yourself an injury. Please, not the intention here. Inhale and exhale, equal pace, and bringing oxygen and energy in towards you. Easing yourself out of that one. Coming onto our back. Ooh. And then here, feet just in line with your sit bones, fingers pointing that same direction as shoulders don't like it. Lift up the hips. Gently start to drop your head back if it feels comfy for you. It will give you a big neck stretch as well. Now I keep my hips up here simply because it gives me a bit of an upper body workout. If you want to break, put your bum down and then come back up again. Pushing the hips up, pressing the heels down, again drawing the core in, coming down, and this gives you a little bit of a round back stretch. I love this move. It's just a really great move now to work through the shoulders and waken up the back body a wee bit more. Bum comes down, this time you roll down and you'll lift your hips up into your bridge. Now rather than the normal link your hands behind, I put my hands under my bum to go, oi, get up there. This is a beautiful, beautiful upper body opening. Again, the hips are open, the thighs are opening, the chest is open. Push your chest up towards your chin. Keep the chin a little lifted, so please don't press it down into your throat because that constricts your airways a wee bit and can compress your neck. So a little bit of height in the chin is a good thing. Now I'm taking myself into a back bend. It's something, again, I'm practicing. So please, if you do back bends, then come on up. If not, take another bridge and just work pressing the heels down and lifting up through the hips and opening the front body. So as I said at the start, a lot of this is about the intention of love, which means we need to be open, which can be vulnerable. So these positions like this, they are very opening and can be scary. Option. Please, you can lift one leg up. Again, it's another thing I'm practicing because I feel unstable here. So I'm always trying to push myself a little bit out of my comfort zone. When you come down, if you're here, please tuck your head, back of the head, roll through, arms out to T position, and just drop the knees to one side, just to let your back go, all is well. Turning the head opposite to the knees. Beautiful, beautiful twist. This is one of my favorites. And then changing. Also, I just like to lie down, if I'm perfectly honest with you. Now, on the next time when we come across, we're going to lift up the left leg and pop it over the right knee. Then you'll bring your legs to the right. And with the right knee, you can push a little bit more down onto the left leg. My right hand also assisting. And I move my left arm a bit higher. So I got more of a diagonal feeling from my left knee to my left hand. Crossing the legs the other way, gently persuading yourself in. See how I move my right hand up, just a bit of a longer stretch, that's all. Coming back out of it and bringing the knees now in towards the chest for a little hug. Gently rock side to side, great massage through the lower back, and coming into happy baby. So you can hold your toes one way or the other, hold behind the knees, hold the little toe sides of your feet. Goal is to try to drop the hips down. Again, not where my hips want to go, so my butt's a little high in comparison to other people, but this is my body and I love it as it is. Gentle rock side to side. If it feels good and where you want to go, you can straighten out the legs, beautiful inner thigh stretch. This one I like, so I indulge and do things I like, as well as putting myself in positions that I know are good for me, but I may not like pigeon. And then you are almost done. So coming just into a little bit of meditation, if I can ask you today. So get yourself comfy. My belly was getting cold, so that's why I did my top. Hands come on your hip, on your heart. And as you lay there today, please, I want you to consider for yourself maybe what love means to you, where you could bring more into your life, and where maybe you need to share it a little bit more with others. And then to keep ourselves a little active here, the other question I'd like you to contemplate, if you can, is what is it that you need to do today to help remind you of love? And that is what I was doing for myself as I was laying there. Allow your breath to be calm and steady. Let your hands bring love in towards you. And just let the earth support you a little bit here. And then just bring yourself into breath focus rather than the question focus as we start to wake ourselves up to get on with the day. If you did start this in the morning, so just bend one leg and the other and hug them in. Roll yourself up. You could roll to one side if you'd rather. If you want to stay lower, please do. Coming into a cross-legged position or diamond leg, whatever's comfortable for you, and just hands on your heart one more time. Bow your head. Gratitude for yourself, gratitude to those around you, for the world in which we live, even though it is going through some trauma right now. It is a time for us to take some inward reflection and learn some things and lessons that maybe we had been ignoring. Thank you everybody for watching, for joining in, for being kind to yourself. And please, I do wish you all a most wonderful, lovely day. Take a deep breath in. And big thank you. Take care of yourselves and enjoy as much as you can whatever the day brings. Shake it out and hopefully you're ready to have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you.